What if your life is already a ritual and you just stopped noticing? At the edge of morning, before the world reaches for you, there is a silent doorway, a thin, glowing line between who you were yesterday and who you could become today. Across ages, warriors have guarded this hour like treasure, not with swords, but with ritual, with breath, with stillness, with the simple decision to begin the day on purpose, instead of by accident. Tonight, they recover. At dawn, they rise. Between these two sacred fires, waking and sleep, the true battle is fought, mind against chaos, body against inertia, soul against numbness. The question is simple. Will you step into your own warrior's ritual? In one forgotten kingdom, discipline wasn't a schedule, it was a spell. In a forgotten valley where 3 moons never set, there stood a citadel called the House of Quiet Steel. Its warriors were feared in every kingdom, yet no one ever saw them train at dawn. At first light, their courtyard was empty, no clashing blades, no shouted orders, only mist curling over stone. Inside, beneath the citadel, lay the chamber of first breath. Here the warriors of Quiet Steel gathered barefoot, their weapons resting on hooks outside the door, cloaks folded, armor undone, eyes closed. They stood in a wide circle around a shallow pool, breathing together in slow, deliberate rhythm, as if sharing a single invisible lung. After 20 breaths, they knelt and washed their faces and hands in the cold water, washing away the ghost of yesterday. Regrets, arguments, small failures, all imagined dissolving into the pool. They stretched their tired muscles, feeling where the night still clung to their shoulders. Only then did they lift their swords, treating the first cut through air as a promise, not a performance. At night, the ritual reversed. They returned to the chamber with lanterns dimmed to embers. Each warrior placed their blade on the ground, bowed to it, and thanked their body for carrying them through another day. 3 deep breaths, 1 silent intention for tomorrow, then sleep, not as escape, but as sacred training, the time when the soul, like quiet steel, cooled and became unbreakable. History remembers the armor, but not the rituals that made it steady. History remembers the armor, not the alarm clocks, but if you look closely, the greatest warriors all had one thing in common. They built their days like temples. In feudal Japan, many samurai rose before the sun, not to swing their swords, but to still their minds. A brief meditation in a sparse room, the soft clink of porcelain as they prepared tea with deliberate movements, each gesture precise, unhurried. They believed that if your hand trembled while pouring tea, it would tremble later when drawing steel. In the Roman Empire, generals and statesmen practiced their own form of warrior ritual. Some woke early to walk in silence before speaking to anyone, feeling the air, observing the city coming alive. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, turned dawn into a council meeting with themselves, writing, reflecting, reminding their minds of what mattered before the chaos of command arrived. Across cultures, the strongest warriors treated mornings and nights as sacred ground, not empty time. In medieval Europe, warrior monks balanced combat training with strict rhythms of prayer, study, and rest. Bells marked the hours, but also the boundaries of their energy. Work, pray, train, eat, sleep, repeat. not as mechanical routine, but as a way to ensure that no part of life drowned out the others. Even their simple meals and early bedtimes were part of the discipline, and almost everywhere, sleep was respected as more than laziness. Samurai arranged their rooms with care, removing clutter, placing armor where it could be reached, but not stared at. A clear space, a darkened lamp, the mind allowed to soften. They understood something our busy age often forgets. A tired warrior is a vulnerable one. No matter how sharp the sword, from bamboo forests to stone monasteries, the pattern repeats: intention at dawn, reflection at night, and the day itself as practice. Their victories were no accident. They were built, breath by breath, choice by choice, habit by habit. Tomorrow's warriors won't fight monsters, they'll fight noise. In the cities of tomorrow, the loudest enemy is not artillery. It is interruption, notifications, feeds, endless streams of noise competing for attention. In this world, the new warrior doesn't wear iron. They wear awareness. They sleep in rooms shielded from the glow of 1,000 screens, inside apartments that float above neon streets. When the first pale line of artificial dawn glows along their window, they do not reach for a device. They reach for their breath. A wristband hums softly, guiding a slow inhale, a slower exhale, syncing their heart with a calming rhythm. They stand before a wall that becomes a garden when they are calm, or a storm when they are restless. Sensors read their pulse, their micro-movements, the tension in their shoulders. Each morning their task is simple: bring the garden into bloom through stillness alone. No points, no likes, just immediate feedback from their own nervous system. In a hyper-connected future, the rarest luxury will be a mind that cannot be pulled away. Throughout the day, the warrior codes, negotiates, teaches, leads, but always returns to micro-rituals: 3 conscious breaths before opening a message, a 30-second pause before replying in anger, a slow stretch after hours at a holographic screen. Their technology does not own their attention, it supports their intention. At night, they step into a sleep pod that darkens gradually like a setting sun. Gentle frequencies slow their brainwaves. The day's data is archived, but their mind drifts unburdened. Because even in the age of implants and neural nets, deep sleep remains the most powerful upgrade. To stay human in a digital world, your ritual becomes your shield. So, what is your ritual? You are not living in a citadel, or a monastery, or a neon tower, but the laws are the same. Your body, your mind, your soul, they all respond to rhythm. The question is not whether you have rituals. The question is whether they are chosen or accidental. Think about your mornings. Do you wake up and immediately hand your attention to a screen, to messages, to noise? Or can you claim the first 5 minutes as a warrior would, as sacred territory? You do not need incense or ancient scrolls. You need one small, non-negotiable act of alignment. Start with the mind. Before you stand up, feel your breath move in and out 3 times. That is all. Count them. Notice the weight of your body, the texture of the sheets, the faint sounds of the world beginning. This is your chamber of first breath, even if it is just a small, messy room. Then, the body. Sit up slowly instead of snapping awake. Drink water before you drink information. Stretch. Walk to the window. Feel light on your face. These are not productivity hacks. They are respect. Your muscles, joints, And nerves are the armor that carry you through the battles of the day. Soul comes next, and it does not need to be dramatic. One line in a journal, one intention spoken quietly, one moment to ask, how do I want to show up today? Not, what do I have to survive? But, who do I choose to be in the middle of all this? When mind, body, and soul all hear the same rhythm, your life stops feeling like a fight and starts feeling like a path. Your evening can mirror this. Shut down the day on purpose. Put your devices to sleep before you put yourself to sleep. Dim the lights. Let your eyes rest on something still. A book, a candle, the night sky outside your window. Review the day with kindness, not judgment. What went well? What will you do differently tomorrow? Then, let it go. These practices are not about perfection. You will miss days. You will have chaotic mornings, restless nights. That is normal. What matters is returning to the ritual again and again, like placing your sword back on its stand, like stepping once more into the chamber of first breath. Over time, the small acts compound into something unshakable, a sense of inner balance that does not depend on perfect circumstances, only on consistent choices. Rise with intention, rest with purpose. Every warrior in every age faced the same invisible opponent, forgetting what matters, forgetting the rituals that keep them whole. You are not exempt. You are simply invited to remember. Tomorrow morning, when your eyes open, imagine the house of quiet steel, the samurai at dawn, the future warrior in their glowing pod. Different worlds, same choice. Chaos first or consciousness first. Guard your first breath. Protect your last thoughts before sleep. Between those two bookends, let your day be imperfect, human, alive, but anchored. At dawn, you rise. At night, you heal. And slowly, quietly, you become what you were always meant to be. Not a tired survivor of your schedule, but a keeper of your own sacred rhythm, a warrior of mind, body, and soul. Let each day begin and end as a quiet ceremony, a promise you renew to live with depth, not just duration.